for our Sharing Hope Radiothon for the benefit of the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, and I have an announcement. I have a new total, and this was, as of 10:30, $35,110 so far toward our $60,000 goal. That's enough for 1,003 days of hope and care. And in addition, we have the Kirkhaw Manufacturing Match this hour up till 11 o'clock. We'll double your donations up to $2,000. We are asking for a $35 gift that will provide a night of hope and care, but if you can give more, please do. And if you can't afford the whole $35, whatever you can afford will be appreciated. All you have to do is call the Martin Chiropractic Hope Line, 989-755-HOPE, 989-755-4673. And the CEO of the Rescue Ministries, Dan Streeter, sits with me this morning, and you brought another guest.
That's right. So we asked Sarah to come in, but because she has another connecting point. That's, I think, one of the fun parts about the ministry now is that there's so many different ways that people connect. And so one of the branches of the ministry that we just started up a year ago is called Higher Purpose. And part of the passion of Higher Purpose is to try to help fight the battle of poverty and homelessness out in the neighborhoods to help people stay sustained where they're at. Well, one of the things that we like to do these periodic classes, and so a partnership rose up with chopping it up in the city. They approached us.
A cooking thing.
Exactly, a cooking thing. And so they approached us saying, hey, we want to do something. And we started brainstorming. And what it turned into was this really practical display of classes. And Sarah and her daughters got to participate in that. And then as we were starting to engage, we were like, well, wait a second. Sarah was also a recipient of services and stayed at the shelter in Bay City. Mm-hmm. And so it was just kind of fun to now connect all these pieces. But it wouldn't have started if it wasn't because of the volunteerism, first, of chopping it up in the city. Mm-hmm. And maybe Sarah can share a little bit about that experience as well.
Let's turn to Sarah, who, if I met on the street and looked at her, would never think homelessness and shelter.
Right.
So how'd you get there?
It started with sickness, and I ended up being with family, and I couldn't stay there anymore. So we went to it was couch surfing for a little while with my 4 children. And one day I just had to find my own way. And through a lot of prayer and supplication, the Lord opened I called every shelter, and the doors were shut. They were full. And I just kept praying.
Where were you at this time?
I was at a friend's.
Oh, what region? Were you here?
I live in Saginaw.
Oh, okay.
And I called Bay City, and they're like, well, we're full, but we're going to put you on a list. And I just stayed in prayer. And the next day, they're like, come on, let's go. And they were like, be here by dinner time so you can feed the children.
Kids and all.
Yes. Yep. And that's how we ended up there.
How long ago was that?
March 29th was the first day that I stepped into the rescue.
Funny how you don't forget those dates.
I never forget it. Never. I always want to remember where the Lord took me.
So we've heard a lot of stories of single individuals that arrive at the mission. What was it like for you as a mom with 4 kids? And what ages were these youngsters?
Oh, they're all teenagers.
Oh, they're all teenagers.
They're all teenagers. So
that's called a handful.
A handful, maybe 2. You know,
maybe 4.
Yeah, I'm holding them tight. Yeah. I was really crushed in spirit at that time, but I just kept drawing near to the Lord, and the kids, like, that's where we found restoration, and I couldn't believe it because we were just in one room. And I thought, because I condemned myself as a mother, how did we end up here? It was where we found restoration. And I glorify the Lord for that, because them intimate times in that room where we could just read the Bible together, I thought they would hate me as teenagers. Who wants to come from the shelter to school, you know? And we found the peace of God there.
Probably gave a little stability.
and they were comfortable. Everybody made them feel very welcomed. They always encouraged them because, they would say, "Oh, your children are so polite," and and it just helped.
Okay, so eventually we're going to get to the cooking program.
Yes.
But you also used Impact Services, which tells me you have your own place now.
I do have my own place. Yes, I was able to get a land contract, and that's another glory story because I'll have my house paid off really soon. So
Wow.
it only would have took me, it was a blessing that fell in my lap. It will be 2 years to pay off the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that wish they could
Yeah.
wish they could do that.
It's just more of a testament to,
And
keeping
so,
a prayer life with the Lord.
so what drew you to the cooking classes?
Okay, so Amanda at Higher Purpose was the third shift. What did they call them? Case managers?
Yeah, shelter. Yeah,
Shelter. And like I said, I had a lot on my mind all the time, and she was there to encourage me. So I stayed connected with her. And then she's like, "I'm at Higher Purpose now." And I had just bought the house. So it just all unraveled and connected. And I actually know someone at Chopping Up in the city, Alex. And it was just like, wow, all these connections, because they do so much too, chopping it up in the city. Yeah.
And now you've, if I read this right, applied to be on the staff?
I have, yes.
So the
At
fun,
Rescue Ministries, yes.
so part of the fun part of the Chopping Up in the City was it was a 4-week class, and we're trying to find innovative ways to be able to help families where they're at, how to prepare a nutritious meal.
Yes, preparation.
We offer all these different aspects, and then hoping to connect with people and fill the gaps. So not everything is for everybody, but what was one of the incentives was that this was a 4-week class with Chopping It Up in the City. And my wife was also involved with it. And those who went through all 4 weeks then got a Thanksgiving food basket that had a fresh turkey in it and a lot of the stuff that you had learned how to make some of these dishes.
I learned how to make sweet potato casserole for my fiance, which was perfect because I don't like them myself, but I tried it. She had they had great recipes, lots of tools.
It sounds to me, Sarah, like life really took a positive turn for you
Yes.
in finding the rescue ministries.
Yes.
And now I just heard you say fiance.
Yes. Yep.
So what's ahead here?
Submission is what's ahead. Yes. He's been my best friend for a long time. So,
Fantastic. Boy, that is
the Lord opened the door for marriage.
what a positive story.
Yes.
Hire her.
Yeah.
Yes, hired. Okay.
I think that's the
receive.
important part is that there's, and the story doesn't end. There's still struggles that are going on
Yes.
that we're hoping to still connect with, but the depth of it, and it's exciting to see there's a new hope
There
that
is
has helped
hope.
That
revive.
word hope again.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yes.
That you start people on the path.
Well, Sarah, we wish you nothing but the best,
Thank you.
and good luck with the future marriage and all of that, and 4 kids growing up.
10 years from now, we'll come back and we'll tell about how Sarah greeted somebody.
Yeah, there you go.
Amen.
That works for me.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
You're
We're going to
welcome.
take a break, but not before we remind you that we are asking for a $35 gift to provide a night of hope and care. If you can give more, that's a blessing. If you can give less, that's a blessing too, because we will take whatever we can get toward our $60,000 goal. As of 10:30, we were at $35,110, but we need your help by calling the Martin Chiropractic Hope line at 989-755-HOPE, 989-755-HOPE, or, Dan, they can go online to
RescueMidMichigan.org.
and make a contribution right online. We'll be back with more.
But we want to educate.
Who told us the early part of his story, and now we learn more with Frank.
It's not just a bed,
to families who come through the R3M program and have gotten a place of their own to call home. Impact Designs transforms an empty house or apartment into a home by using donated items from the community and a bunch of volunteer interior designers. And again, that donation from the community is important. If you have household items that you can donate to Impact Design, do so. Samaritan Youth Services provides short-term, transitional, and permanent housing for Bay Area youth ages 12 through 17 and young adults in need. Staff also provides and coordinates access to local schools, counseling services, health care, vocational preparedness, and other resources. And as Dan Streeter mentioned, Higher Purpose is dedicated to developing thriving neighborhoods in the city of Saginaw through neighborhood revitalization, career opportunities, personal development. Opened in 2025. This year, work at Higher Purpose is already underway with regular life skill classes and career fairs being offered, home improvement and blight removal projects ongoing, and street-level case management happening on a daily basis in the adjacent neighborhoods. And, you know, the world of rescue is a unique one in that the dedicated staff at Rescue Ministries reaches out to all people, regardless of race, gender, religion, appearance, hygiene, bad habits, etc. The goal of rescue is to introduce a change, and I go back to that word hope, to those coming to the mission for help. It's a faith-based ministry. Rescue Ministries believes every person has immense value to God and should be treated with respect and dignity as they strive to pull their lives back together. You've been hearing these stories throughout the morning, but again, it takes dollars to make it happen. And a majority of those dollars come from folks just like you. $35 provides a night of hope and care, and yes, that's a few dollars more than it was last year, but like everything else in our lives, everything has gone up, including the expenses of serving well over 100,000 meals a year at the Rescue Ministry. So your $35 gift will provide a night of hope and care. If you can give more, it's appreciated. If you can give less, it's appreciated too. Call now the Martin Chiropractic Hope Line, 989-755-HOPE. Dan Streeter is with us. We have a new number. Ta-da! Give me a drum roll. $35,555. And Kirkall Manufacturing is matching up till 11 o'clock this morning, and you brought someone else with you, Dan Streeter.
Well, you know, I've been bouncing all over the place, and so I didn't get as much of it.
Wait, folks. That has nothing to do with the Radiothon. That's just the way he is. Go ahead.
So go ahead and introduce yourself and share a little bit about what's happening with you at Life in the Mission.
Come a little closer to the microphone, do, if you would. Good, thank you.
Oh, my name is Lyndon Avery.
Hi, Lyndon.
How you doing? Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Mm-hmm. So, tell me the Lyndon story. First of all, you're not at the mission alone, are you?
No, I have a daughter with me.
You have a daughter with you.
She's mentally slow.
How did you find yourself in this position?
Depending on people, I say, and not on God enough. That's the way I'll sum it up. But it's been a very humbling experience, and it's teaching me a lot about wisdom and discernment.
And how long have you been at the mission now?
Since August.
Since August.
End of August, something like that.
Where were you before that?
I had an apartment here in Saginaw, but I was going through some trial times. I lost a job. I've been working for 30 years.
Oh, wow. Oh.
My mother, God rest her soul, she's be dead a year here in February. I just buried her, and things just start to trickle down from there.
Wow. That's the typical story of when I say you're just a paycheck away.
Mm-hmm.
Living proof.
Well, and I think also, as we talked earlier, sometimes people have a perception that those that are homeless are lazy or that they deserve what has happened to them. And this is a perfect example. 30 years of having worked, but still everything is right on the edge, and it doesn't take much for things to start to unravel.
World collapses around you.
Exactly.
All right, let me take a quick break, and we'll continue Lyndon's story here in just a couple of moments. But we do ask you to call with your donation to the Martin Chiropractic Hope Line, 989-755-HOPE.
Honey, I'm home.
Would you work?
Limited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life.
Throughout the morning, you've been hearing stories of folks who have been helped by the rescue ministry. Another of those stories is Lisa, and let us hear her story.
Before here, we were me and Smiley.
Hope and care. And this hour it is matched by Kirkholm Manufacturing, where our total as of 10:30 was $35,555. In studio with me, Dan Streeter, the CEO of the Rescue Ministries, and Lyndon is with us. So, Lyndon, you've been around the healthcare industry, and you've been the caretaker to your daughter, and will continue to be the caretaker to your daughter. What was it like for you when you had to find your way to the Rescue Ministries?
Ooh, it was a struggle with myself at first to deal with either being embarrassed or too proud. But then once I got there and talked to Jeff, you know, as a Christian man, you know, you learn to open your eyes up to understand what you're going through. So it took a minute for me to adapt to it because it was something I never experienced before in my life.
How about your daughter?
Ooh, I'm such a protective thing over that to where I had to keep her up under my wing to keep her protected. So it's new to her too. And, you know, we've both been through different changes, and I've had to deal with different attitudes just because we're confined, you know, together. And she used to having her own room, you know. So it's a difference. It's been a challenge, but God is good.
So what's the future for you and your daughter? What do you look for?
Well, a better environment, a better understanding, you know, to continue to strive forward and not to be back in this position again. You know, that's my goal, you know, and to better I'm not going to say we wasn't comfortable before. It was that you learn things. Things were, sometimes when God strengthens you, he strips you to make you whole. I had to learn that.
You were a man of faith before you got there.
Yes, sir.
So that faith continues with the Rescue Ministry.
Yes, sir.
Dan, when someone like Lyndon shows up with a daughter, what happens?
So Lyndon is an example of one of the dynamics that's a little bit newer. We're starting to see more fathers with kids that are with them. And so several years ago, about 4 years ago, we knew that we needed to dedicate more space for family units. And so where we had previously 2 at City Rescue Mission, now we have 7 that we can be able to help provide. And so that way a family can stay intact. It has its own self-contained restroom, shower attached to it, so it feels very
like a
similar.
Mini apartment.
Yeah, it's like a mini apartment, or maybe a little bit more like a hotel room
Studio
size.
apartment,
Yeah,
yeah.
studio. And so that way the family can still have privacy, and but yet still stay together as a family unit. I think a lot of times people have the perception you come into shelter, it's like one huge dorm. We try to make sure that that family unit can be able to survive and help have some privacy, and but at the same time start to deal with the issues that they need to get towards self-sufficiency.
Did it change the need for a special kind of counseling when you started getting families?
So we started a program called Supportive Parenting, because there's a lot of you come from experiences, and we're trying to break the cycle of homelessness, and sometimes abuse, sometimes neglect, sometimes it's just a lack of resources, and trying to pull all those things together and fill those gaps, so then that way families get to see and get the materials that they need, and so then that way when they leave, It's a healthier environment. And that's why the Impact Designs program is so important as well. So then that way that family has a home that's fully stocked, and it has a bed for the kids and a dining room table and all the things that they would need to get started. And what's healthier than coming together as a family and eating dinner around a dining room table?
Yeah. Well, Lyndon, we certainly wish you well in your future, you and your daughter.
Well, I thank you.
Good Lord will watch out for you.
And I have faith that I'm all right with that.
There you go. Lyndon with us from the Rescue Ministries. You remember, your $35 gift provides a night of hope and care. Call us now at Martin Chiropractic Hope Line, 989-755-HOPE, 989-755-4673. We'll be back with Dan Streeter in just a few moments here on the Art Lewis Show.
This week, it's a year-end.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW, part of our Sharing Hope Radiothon today till 6 o'clock tonight, trying to raise $60,000 for the Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. We're more than halfway there at $35,555, and we'll have a new number coming up near the top of the hour. You can donate, of course, at the Martin Chiropractic Hope Line, 989-755-HOPE, 989-755-4673. There's a group of volunteers in our conference room taking your calls and your pledges. Or you can go online to rescuemidmichigan.org, and in the lower right corner you'll see a Radiothon box. Click on that, and you can make your donation that way. Dan Streeter with us, and I want to talk for a minute about youth services, because you're in the process, and have been, of expanding those.
That has been such a rewarding venture that we have been able to do, that God has just blown open the opportunity. It started in 2021, but we knew that there was a need in Bay County for many years. And, part of our strength is the partners that we have all within the community. And so Mary Ellen Johnson, who had been the director of Youth Protection Services for so many years and is a personal neighbor of mine, when we started to brainstorm about needing to open up youth services, we first asked Mary Ellen, hey, are you interested at all? And she says, we just couldn't do it. Well, will you be willing to help us? And she was like, absolutely. And so to have that kind of a partner that already had all that experience helped us to avoid so many mistakes. And so then...
And we need to point out, you come up with these ideas. You can't just go and build a building or modify a building and open them. You got to deal with the state, don't you?
There's times where, licensing and inspections, and yes, because, well, number one, we want to run it effectively, well, and we want it to be sustainable. And we also want to run it with integrity. So we did a lot of research when it came to the youth services when we first started it out. And goal one was to start with the emergency shelter, to do the most urgent crisis-centered thing. And it wasn't very long after that we knew that we needed to then add on transitional housing, because that's where the most vulnerable kids needed a little bit longer care.
And I got to tell you, it shocked me to find out how many 17 and under are out on the streets with no place to live. And I'm going, what's wrong with that picture?
Yeah, Michigan Department of Education estimates annually about 24,000 kids under the age of 18 experiencing homelessness independently. And out of that, only about 700 to 1,000 of them will go into a youth shelter. And the biggest reason is because those kids are escaping from some type of an abusive situation. And so under the state license, you are supposed to do family reconciliation. So that's what made us really say we need to get the transitional housing so we can help kids on a longer period that aren't going to go back into those home situations. And then that's also the birth of Labadee Lofts for permanent housing, so we can add kids that stability that's needed. One of the fun things that just happened last week is the partnership that we have with Bay County United Way. and they were passionate about wanting to adopt our Labadee Lofts kids for Christmas.
Wow.
So they did this huge, full-blown Christmas party for them that included food and all these presents, and those kids just got the absolute red carpet. And you go to our Facebook page, you can see some amazing pictures with that partnership with Bay County United Way.
We're going to learn about some other partners coming up, the business partners of the Rescue Ministries coming up on Focus. And we'll be back with lots more, but make that phone line ring, 755-HOPE, 989-755-4673. We'll be back after the news with more.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
All right, we have a moment here because I messed up as always. Just to remind you that we are looking to raise $60,000 by 6 o'clock tonight. The last number we had at 10:30 was $35,555. Halfway there, but halfway is only halfway. We need to fill the rest. Give us a call again at the Martin Chiropractic Hope line, 989-755-HOPE, 989-755-4673. And we will be back right after the news with more Radiothon here on WSGW. And we are still off. Sit down, Dan, for 50 seconds here. I might get my clock to work right. Anyway.
This is the perfect chance for somebody to call in.
Perfect. Absolutely. Donate on my flubs.
Yeah. This is how you know it's all live.
Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely, absolutely.
But we'll count this. You know, normally your show helps lead the way. So we'll give a little extended time until 11:10. You make a call and it counts to Art's show. So.
Well, I know 11:30 counts to my show.
Oh, okay.
You're not cheating me. We'll be back with more. I think the clock now says I do need to shut up and move on to CBS News. We'll be back.
On the Hour, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Steve Kathan. A federal judge has ordered the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a man who became the face of the government's immigration crackdown earlier this year. CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez.
Abrego Garcia is, of course, the Salvadoran man who was wrongfully deported to his home country back in March as part of a U.S. deportation effort, despite the fact that he had an order of protection from being deported to his home country back during the first Trump administration in 2019. The Trump administration this time around acknowledged that it made a legal mistake in deporting him to that country, but for months it refused to bring him back.
Well, CBS's Nicole Skanga tells us the administration's now pitching expedited visas, offering legal status and a path to citizenship at a price.
The Gold Card program was created for people who, quote, provide a substantial benefit to the United States. Applicants would pay a $15,000 processing fee, and once screened and approved, they would be required to make a $1 million gift to the United States. In exchange, their residency permits would be fast-tracked.
Health care is a focus in the U.S. Senate today, but CBS's Torian Small reports it might not amount to much.
Despite the fact that there are two dueling bills headed to the floor today for a vote, there is not consensus for either. Remember, this isn't just a simple majority needed in order for stuff to get done. There needs to be at least 60 votes to get something across the finish line. And lawmakers we talked to yesterday have said that the other side isn't listening, and ultimately that could cost Americans.
Some rivers are reaching historic levels in Washington state as heavy rain has sparked flooding.
Governor Bob Ferguson has declared a statewide emergency, warning as many as 100,000 people may have to move to higher ground. Jamal Beckham with Snohomish Regional Fire says they've already made several water rescues.
On most of our rescues, we've had people sitting on the hood or the roof of their car out here.
Floodwaters are rising in downtown Sultan, where TJ Council and his fellow employees were piling up sandbags outside Loggers Bar, which brags it never closes.
We've been in here shooting pool and hip waders drinking beer.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A day after the U.S. military seized a Venezuelan oil tanker, Venezuelan